taking my emotions out of the conversation, Mark, let me just come to you. I see Bart shaking his head. Mark, let me come to you. You know Darnold well, obviously. He's an SC guy. You're an SC guy. He's the Jets quarterback. You're a former Jets quarterback. Do you believe with a fresh start he can recapture the magic that at one time had teams talking about tanking for him?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is he's shown flashes. He's shown enough, in my opinion, to give him a chance somewhere else. Indy, San Francisco, somewhere that's going to develop around him, draft around him, and put him in positions to be successful. The problem is he's trying to play right now because he's so dang competitive, and he's still a little banged up from that injury a few weeks back. So, in my opinion, I thought he shouldn't have played at all the rest of the year. He should have just sat it out, went on, and got to another place, and hadn't put any more bad film out there. He doesn't need to. He doesn't have to prove anything else. If anything, this is only hurting his value.
It's an interesting thought. Bart, you're around that team all the time, and you're shaking your head. Why?
I'm emotionally abused anyway by having to cover this team. But I tell you what, Mark is wrong. He has a lot to prove because he understands if he gets one victory, that potentially gets his option picked up because they won't be able to get Trevor Lawrence. So he has to come back and try and do whatever he can to try and get a victory. If he wins a game and Trevor Lawrence isn't an option, then Sam Darnold becomes your best option. Mark, if I take my camera right now, I can show you the Jets facility. I'm like 2 feet from it, man. I hear things rumbling. Bro, but I'm listen. He's damaged. He's not broken.
Go ahead.
Listen, he's damaged, not broken.
But they're not picking up his option. They're not going to pay him.
Maybe. Sanchez, go. Why are they not picking up his option?
They can't pick up his option. They're going to end up paying him like $27 million in a couple years. He hasn't proven he's worth that.
But if it's no Trevor Lawrence. If it's no Trevor Lawrence, then they have to. What's their other option? Go out and get Jameis Winston?
No, you let him play the fourth year, Bart. You let him play the fourth year, and then you move on.
Yeah, it's not one of the other.
That's what you want to do. Or you just move on because he can't play.
Yeah, I'll just let you guys do this.
Sam Darnold, I think he needs to play.
Bart,
I think he needs to play. I don't think he needs to sit out.
Let me try very hard to get one person talking at a time. Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me try and get, because all of you are saying interesting things and no one can understand any of them. Mark Sanchez, you're saying that you do not believe the Jets should or will pick up his option regardless of whether they get Trevor Lawrence or not.
Correct.
And why?
I just don't think he's shown that he's worth that there. I don't think it works in New York for Sam. I think it works somewhere else. And my only contention with him playing right now is if he's not healthy. Don't go out and try and prove yourself on a team and in a franchise that's going the wrong direction. They're ready to reboot. You just go somewhere else. All you need is one team to like you, and they'll build around you and help your career. They can resurrect his career.
Let me get RC into the conversation here. What have you seen, and what are your thoughts on him taking all this, the future out of it?
Listen, Mark is exactly right. You've seen flashes. Every now and then you get him rolling out of the pocket to his left, throwing back across his body and completing touchdown passes, or you get him scrambling out of the pocket and scoring in primetime football. You can see some of those things. The things that scares you is still the decision-making, the interceptions, the turnovers. Those are things we saw when he was coming out of USC. But here's what the positive has to be. First off, Adam Gase, duh. Of course you failed him. Of course you didn't do the job that you were brought there to do, other jobs you said you came over to do. But we've seen this with Ryan Tannehill. Look at somebody getting into a new facility, a new organization, a new type of team, a team that builds around you, a team that is set up to win, and then you can excel, then you can succeed. I believe that's what Sam Darnold needs to do. They not only need to let Sam Darnold go because it's best for the Jets, it's also best for his career. Let's not fight this guy. It's over in New York.
Go ahead, Bart.
So for me, if he's able to win a game, then he becomes your best option if you can't get Trevor Lawrence. Understanding that Adam Gase won't be here. You know, he'll be able to get a new coach, maybe the enemy. They have a lot of draft capital. They have a lot of salary cap. They're going to have money when nobody else is going to have money. They can bring a Zach Ertz in here. They can go get Juju or Galladay. They can go out and build a team around him, and that's what you have to do if you can't get Trevor Lawrence. They understand that it's more about Adam Gase and his inability to be a comparable coach than it is about Sam Darnold's ability to be a very good quarterback. He may be good. He's not great. He's not elite. I think his ceiling is Dak Prescott. You can win with him. And if you can't get Trevor Lawrence, who's a generational talent, he's a force multiplier, then you double down on Sam Darnold because we know if you give him weapons, I mean, hell, before this, who was the best weapon they ever had? Mims? Herman? Like, what are we talking about? This is a guy that we can't evaluate because he has anybody.
Mark, get a quick final thought. Go ahead, Sanchez.
Yeah, I agree with all that, Bart. All I'm saying is just because he wins a game doesn't mean you go pay him $26 million in his fifth year. They can just keep him through through next year without exercising the fifth-year option and see how it goes. Leave him in like a prove-it-year kind of contract. That's fine.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.